coming faster now. A sleek seafood and dim sum spot in San Francisco. A muy rico take on traditional tacos in Oakland.
Thank you.
And rustic Italian pastas made from scratch in San Rafael. On Check Please Bay Area.
I would eat that sauce on the flip-flop if it was given to me.
Hi, I'm Leslie Sabraco. Welcome to Check Please Bay Area, the show where regular Bay Area residents review and talk about their favorite restaurants. Now we have 3 guests, and each one recommends one of their favorite spots, and the other 2 go check them out to see what they think. Joining me at the Check Please table today are game designer Francis Kong, teacher and coach Alex Karapanos, and PR executive Mary Richardson. Welcome, everyone. Are you ready for a rockin' good time?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Francis grew up in his family's Chinese restaurant, so he's got pretty high standards when it comes to Cantonese cooking. But when it comes to his favorite spot for dim sum and seafood, he opts for a menu that takes a decidedly modern approach to the classics he grew up with. Located in San Francisco's historic Ghirardelli Square, it's Palette Tea House.
Tea House is actually a very traditional dim sum restaurant. And the reason we picked the name Palette was that we want to present our food just like an art piece.
Okay, Dennis, do your
I grew up in Hong Kong, and our culture back then, we always gather with family members and so on the weekends. So it's always fun. You always see your relatives, your cousins, and then you go to a tea house, enjoy dim sum, and in Chinese we call it yum cha. It literally translates to drinking tea. And in the Cantonese culture, we always start our gathering with yum cha for the day.
And this is the actual Iberico marinade that we make here in-house.
Compared to a lot of restaurants, we have a huge menu. That's also part of the yum cha culture. People always like different varieties because we go back all the time. Dim sum is actually very difficult to make. People, they say, oh, you can get it from any hole in the wall, but behind the scene in the kitchen, it is a lot of work. Chef Hans, he looks young, but actually he has been making dim sum for over 30 years. And he oversees all the dim sum production, all made by hand one by one. And to make the dough as thin as possible, it does require a lot of skills in doing so. And the very last, the steaming time is also very crucial, with the skin being so delicate. If you oversteam a little bit, the dumpling will break apart. Of course, dim sum has a long history, but we want to introduce this culture to the younger generation as well. As I see people come in, they say, hey, this is my first time trying dim sum. It is so special, we enjoy it so much. It really brings a smile to my face that we actually presented this culture to new audience.
Now, Francis, there are so many dim sum spots in the city. How did you come across this one as being so special?
It was amazing, but they took all the great parts of the authentic dim sum and they combined it with a lot of European, American, and modern styles. And so it wasn't just the dim sum, but it was the presentation, the experience, the overall flavor, the texture. Everything was just off on another level. Their plates actually are customized plates. They look like little paint palettes, and there's 4 little divots in there for each of their sauces. So you're actually supposed to take a sauce and put it in each of the little divots, and then you can take your food, put it on your plate, and pick which sauce you want. So they actually customize, and that's hence their name, Palette Tea House.
But tell me, do you have a favorite dish? Do you have a favorite dish?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The Iberico pork chashu. I love chashu, and I learned how to make it when I was a kid for my dad's Chinese restaurant, but typically it's just made from a basic pork loin.
And
Exactly.
these pigs eat acorns only, and so there's tons of
Yep.
fatty marble goodness and richness in that, right?
Yeah, it was so, my mouth was so confused in a wonderful way. I was like, this is filet mignon. They're tasting like chashu.
Yeah.
I also had the Iberico pork, and it was the favorite dish that I tried from Palette Tea House. It was amazing.
Yeah.
What I liked about it too is you could take a little piece of that compressed apple
Yes.
Yes.
and put it on top of the pork and eat it.
Yep.
And I love that it was set up to share with friends too, so it wasn't like any fighting over that. There were perfect sizes ready to share, and it had such a sticky, kind of sweet, a little bit spicy marinade, super flavorful.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I was already full. And I ate that whole dish.
Oh wow, you ate the whole thing by yourself? That is super impressive. So another dish was the crab. It was a garlic butter crab. The sauce, I think, is what makes this thing so unique because it's almost the same kind of sauce that you find in the shrimp and lobster type of Chinese restaurants, but much richer, much more thick. And I'm not that big of a fan of crab, but this crab was amazing with that sauce. I would eat that sauce on a flip-flop if it was given to me. That was so good. So I would actually just sit there and I'd be like, you know what, you guys didn't have the crab. I just want the sauce.
I love crab. I love crustaceans. I love getting my hands dirty. It was a good dish, but for me, the sauce was a little too much.
Yeah, just.
I was digging into it, and when I would drop a piece of crab, it would sometimes kind of get lost in the sauce. The sauce had flavor. It was rich, garlic butter. It was nice and flavorful, but personally, I like to let the crab speak for itself a little more.
Well, you need to go with Francis because he'll take your extra sauce.
Yeah, you can have the crab. I'll take the sauce.
Right.
We're going to be good.
I loved the smacked cucumber salad, but it was a nice dish of these sticks of cucumbers that were actually smashed. So they were a really cool texture that soaked up this vinegar marinade that was kind of tangy and a little refreshing with all the crab butter and dumplings and pork and just a nice addition to the table.
Did you have anything else?
Ooh, we had some really tasty dumplings. We got the original pork soup dumplings, which had a really nice thin homemade wrapper and a warm, juicy broth when you bit into it. And similarly with the pork, they had a little slice of carrot in the bottom. So you had a little bit of a crunch after you got that juicy, hot, soupy dumpling, and those were delicious.
You definitely want to try the lobster hogao.
Okay.
Traditional hogao is made out of shrimp, but this one is made of lobster meat, and it comes with a little injection of butter. So you basically can squeeze a little injection and make sure each one has a bite of hot butter. That's actually boiled with crab shell, so it's butter with infused crab flavor in the butter that you inject into the lobster.
I had the salted egg lava bao, and I was a little surprised because I thought it would be like a savory bao, but it was actually sweet. So it was like a custard filling. It almost was like a creme brulee filling.
Definitely, that's more of a dessert dish with the nice lava, oozy, creamy, and you bite into it. And then you're right, it's like a creme brulee, but with the salty, because the salty egg is kind of part of a Chinese culture from like the mooncakes. So they took that concept, made it into lava, and made it into baos. I think one of the things they said, they wanted to make sure all the food that they brought out was grammable. Right? Definitely, if you guys get a chance to try the Peking duck. I didn't even want to touch the duck because it was so pretty. I was like, oh my God, that is art. I can't even eat that.
Their cocktail menu was really nice. I had one called the Painted Lady.
Ooh.
It was a cognac, hibiscus, nutmeg, Bordeaux. Really smooth, not overly sweet.
I had an amazing cocktail. It was the Red Lantern, and it comes out and it's this beautiful, bright red-pink color. There's some hibiscus and some prickly pear syrup, and then a little bit of smoky mezcal, and it was just like refreshing, a little tart, a little smoky. It was so good. I only had one, but I wish I had a few.
And just the ambiance too. It's nice bar, nice layout, like different rooms and sections of the restaurant. So I was wondering why the name Palette
because
Tea House.
dim sum evolved from tea houses. And back then, when they were selling tea houses in old ancient China, they realized they just weren't making that much money because people will only drink one pot of tea. But if they served a little bit of steamed dumplings here and there, people are like, oh, I'll have another pot of tea. And so the whole word, the name tea house stuck because that's the origins of dim sum.
Nice.
I think teacher Alex, he gets an A.
That is
Thank you so much.
that's not an A, that's an A plus.
A plus. There we go.
Thank you. Salute.
Salud. If you would like to try Palette Tea House, it's located in San Francisco's Ghirardelli Square. The average tab per person without drinks is around $40. Almost every week, Mary faces a tough decision at her favorite find. Will it be the crispy carnitas or the juicy, fresh off the spit al pastor? Luckily, she lives so close to her Lake Merritt taqueria, she can satisfy either craving anytime she wants. In Oakland, it's Rico Rico Taco.
Un taco al día es la llave de la alegría, means one taco a day is the key to joy. And we do really believe in, I think tacos and food just brings people together.
I grew up in the taco business, and my family's business from Tacos El Gordo. When my dad started here in East Oakland, it was like me, my mom, and my dad. So we started literally on the street, right? So
Yeah. And then for me, my family owns Tacos Sinaloa. They've been in the business for over 20 years.
we wanted to take a little bit of menu items from both and our favorites. My favorite is honestly the taco del pastor, and Marisol's favorite is tacos de carnitas. Marisol, I think, likes the carnitas crispiness, because even though the meat is slow cooked, once you actually ask for it, we'll put it on the grill. I like to describe it as a little patty. So it's like kind of crispy on the outside, but once you bite into it, you still feel the moistness of that taco. And I think that accompanied with the onion, cilantro, and salsa, it just gives you like that perfect mixture of goodness.
I think what makes Rico Rico really special is really our handmade tortillas.
It's a spinning comal, so you'll actually see them laying the tortillas, but as soon as they lay it, it spins around, and it's just, I feel like it's almost like a little show, right?
Get the corn tortilla and then she smashes it.
I love that all our staff really takes pride in what they put out there. And like, you know, they tell each other stories how they say, hey, somebody came and told me I made the best burrito. You know, it's almost a competition of like who makes the better burrito, you know? So I think that's really cool that the culture here is really, I love my job and I love how I put out the food. It makes me feel like we're not letting our family down.
Mary, the story behind this spot is so unique, isn't it? Two famed taco truck families. Tell us a little bit about the story.
Yes, so in Oakland, as many of you probably know, there are a bunch of taco trucks all throughout the area. And I am a big burrito and taco connoisseur. I love walking around Lake Merritt, grabbing my burrito, going for a walk. And when Rico Rico opened up, I was like, wow, these taco trucks are coming together. I have to see what this food is like. And the first time I bit into their burrito, I was like, this is special. And what I think makes it so great is that they griddle their carnitas. So they take your portion of meat, they put it on the hot griddle, and it gets a really nice crisp, but still the meat is a little juicy in the inside. And then they load up their big tortilla with your classic rice, beans, onion, cilantro, a homemade avocado salsa, and then they wrap it up and then they griddle it again. So you've got the crunchy inside, crunchy outside, creamy salsa. It's big, but I can obviously eat the whole thing. It is just the perfect burrito.
My favorite was the carnitas, because I actually judge a Mexican place by the carnitas.
Okay.
I was looking for exactly what you said: moist, crispy,
Yes.
a little bit of that lard pork flavor, and yeah, I'd probably say that's the best carnitas I've had in the Bay Area.
I would say the same, Francis.
I'm taking that mental note because I think I'm gonna have to try that next time I'm there.
Oh,
What did you get when you went?
I'm kind of an al pastor person.
Right.
That's kind of my thing. So when I walked into Rico Rico, when I see the spit, ooh, it gets me excited. And when I got these tacos, these aren't tiny little street tacos. These are nice, single, thick, handmade tortillas with the homemade salsa, with fresh pastor meat,
Yes.
with the onion and cilantro,
And the pineapple.
with the pineapple, that nice,
Exactly.
favorite.
that
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
fresh slice of pineapple. And then you get the pickled carrots with the radishes. I was in heaven too.
I'm hungry now. I'm really
I
hungry
could go
now.
for a taco. I love the fish tacos because you have a nice crispy fried piece of whitefish with a little bit of thinly sliced red onions and a slaw and some lime, and it's tangy and crunchy and on that chewy thick tortilla. I love those.
All right, I'm hungry.
Did you have anything else, Francis? Because you had the carnitas, you had the
The
mushroom.
the hungoy. That's the first time I've ever had a mushroom taco in my entire life, and I was skeptical, right? But I actually really loved it. Very robust mushrooms, and had a savory flavor, and the texture was almost meaty.
I thought that the value for price was exceptional. With the quality, with the portions.
So is this the gold standard that
This
you're working
was-
off of, or close?
No, this was the gold standard.
Okay.
Because
Wow, there
they-
you go.
because-
Wow.
I think Mary needs a round of applause.
Oh, yes.
Of what?
Thank you for helping us
In
discover
the
that
name of
place.
carnitas burritos, thank you.
Yes.
If you would like to try Rico Rico Taco, it's located on Lakeshore Avenue in Oakland, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $20. Alex is an avid traveler who's always dreamed of going to Italy. Luckily, he says he's found a little piece of northern Italy right here in the North Bay. Nestled in San Rafael's charming West End neighborhood, it's the kitchen table.
The restaurant name is The Kitchen Table. I opened here in San Rafael because I grew up here. So the menu is designed to where we have bites and you could start off with something right when you sit down. It's like something quick. And then we have appetizer salads, and then we have pizzas, pastas, and entrees. I designed it to where it's open, so I don't need to come out because I'm working back there. So the regulars, they pretty much come to me or yell at me from across the dining room, whatever. You know, that's like the whole idea. My family had Aliotos down the wharf since 1920. I'm fourth generation. So the restaurant was for family. My great-grandparents started it, and then my grandfather and my father, and we all had summer jobs down there. My father, he's like, if you really want to learn, you gotta go work in Europe, right? So that's what I did. I like using egg pasta and rolling it out to where it's tender with the thickness, but also delicate. The raviolo al uovo is a single ravioli. It's just about making the filling so it's not dry and be delicate when you place the egg, which I learned at Ristorante San Domenico in Imola, which is a little south of Bologna. And we always want to work from the end out, so air comes out. Chef Valentino Marcatelli created this dish, and everything in the dish works. Ricotta cheese, spinach, they just go right in. Eggs, truffle, brown butter, Parmigiano. So all of that is like a perfect match. My father, Nunzio, who's a master sommelier, it's something that he's always helped me out with, and you know, he lives right down the street, so he's created my wine list. It's what's good, what goes good with food, and that's what we're gonna serve. Cheers. So it's a pork chop. San Rafael is a small town. A lot of people know a lot of people, so everyone's talking and getting up and coming over to the pass, and that's the idea. It's like being around the kitchen table, right?
All right, before we get started on your restaurant, Alex, I just have to dig a little deeper into who you are, because you are a traveler, a teacher. You are also an on-the-spot poet. So I need a little bit of your talent to shine through right now.
You know it, Leslie.
Okay. All right.
Can I get a check, please? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, now we got to talk food. Favorite dish?
They have a wonderful starter. I feel like it could be their signature. It's called the raviolo uovo. It's one large ravioli sitting on some sage butter sauce with some Parmesan. But the real magic happens when you dig your fork in there and cut into it, and you see that egg yolk coming out with a little ricotta spinach filling. So the play of textures and the flavor and a little bit of truffle sauce, and it's just rich and decadent and unique.
And
I had
ooey.
ooey and just all that good feelings in there. And
Yes, actually, when I ordered it, I wasn't sure what to expect, and our very kind server was like, you know, you should get a side of bread with that. And I was like, a side of bread?
Yep.
I thought it was kind of a pasta dish. But when we cut into it and the egg yolk, the creamy, buttery sauce went everywhere, and we all dipped our bread in and just took every last bite of that sauce. I was so glad we had the
You're
bread.
being the sauce guy, Francis.
Yes, I was gonna say, we finished the bread. I never finished the bread. And I was like, I need more bread.
Yeah.
Because this sauce needs to be paired with your bread.
It was
so good.
so good.
One of the things that I will never forget there, and I'm definitely gonna, I would drive back for, is that gnocchi. Little pillows of potato puff heaven. Super light, and that broccoli sauce is perfect with it.
I also got that, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
And I also got a pizza, the chorizo pizza, which was amazing. I think the pastas are known to shine there, but this pizza dough was light and airy with a good chew, and it had artichokes and olives and slices of chorizo that were a little like pepperoni, kind of like a slice, and it was so good. They really made a delicious pizza.
so there's the Frito misto. It's squid, shrimp, zucchini, fennel. It's all fried, but not greasy. It's really well seasoned. And then there's a little kick in there. It's the fried green olives.
Oh.
They give it a little flair. It's a little bit of a tang.
The pork chop was the best pork chop. Super tender, super juicy, thick. I didn't even think I was gonna like have room for it. I finished the pork chop. I was like you with the crab. I was like, where did that go?
That's how you know, man.
Yeah, that's how you know when you know it's good, because where did all the food go, right? Everything I ordered there was just top of the line. Thank you for recommending that. That's my new favorite Italian place now.
Yes.
You can tell they pay attention to detail and that they use fresh ingredients. And the servers and the staff are really educated.
And what other dishes do you get when you go?
I'm a beignet person. I love beignets.
Say it twice.
I love them. I've had beignets in New Orleans at Café Du Monde, the original.
Yes, me too.
And mark my words, I know it's just my opinion, but these beignets are better.
I agree.
They're nice sized beignets, nice texture, just crisp on the outside and really tender and moist on the inside. There's a cinnamon cayenne sugar on the outside.
The
and then there's
cayenne.
just that little hint of spice. And then vanilla sauce. And after I finished these beignets, I have to say, my wife saw the look in my eyes and she said, you know, I love you, so you can have these extra couple
That is true
beignets.
love.
That
is true love.
Did you guys have the beignets?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
there you go.
I
Good.
did.
Yes.
I
Good,
wish I
because
got
if you didn't, you will now.
Oh yeah, no,
Yes.
I got
Now we're gonna
that.
have it again.
If you would like to try the kitchen table, it's located on 4th Street in San Rafael, and the average tab per person is around $60. And now, reporter Cecilia Phillips has another fresh food find. She's got the scoop at San Francisco's first urban creamery.
Daily Drivers, it's really dynamic maker space, and it's a bagelry, a cheese making operation, and a roastery all under one roof. Yeah, we are probably one of only a few urban creameries in the entire United States.
Oh, this looks so good. Tell me a little bit about the cow's milk that you use.
It's insanely amazing milk. So we pick up the milk once a week. It's 500 gallons of milk that we drive down over the Golden Gate Bridge, which is kind of a crazy operation, probably why there's not a lot of urban creameries.
You guys got to come and see this. All right, so this is the cow's milk being pumped in.
So we pump it in, then make cream cheese and butter from that. We make a European style or French style butter, which means that cultures are added to it. It's beautiful and it just has this very distinct flavor. So anybody that comes in here and has a bagel with butter, it's going to be from that butter.
Okay, so around the hands. Okay, close. All right, and roll. Roll. Easy. Oh, did I just make a bagel? Yeah. Start going faster, huh? I Love Lucy. Do you know this one with the candy?
We have some baking soda as alkaline and some brewer's malt.
So every bagel that comes out of here gets a little dip in this bath.
Always a bath, yes. It gives it a little malty, sweet flavor, and the baking soda creates a crust.
So that's where the crunch comes from.
So our bagels, we kind of borrowed a little bit from New York and a little bit from Montreal and a little bit just from us. So the Montreal part is that they're wood-fired. The New York part is that they're boiled before they are wood-fired. And then our part of it is we designed and built this incredible ramp, as you can see. Once they come out of oven, the bagels get flipped into this ramp. And individuals that are in the front of the house can then easily sort from that big ramp.
So let's see what a Montreal, New York, Bay Area style bagel is like. Here we go. Crunchy. It has a bit of that bite on the outside. You immediately bite in, super soft.
Sometimes I walk in here and I see everything that we wanted to have happen is happening, and it's just such a great feeling. Making food is fun and exciting, and a lot goes into it, and a lot of hard work goes into it, and we just want people to not only see it, but kind of feel part of it.
It's the cheese drip for me.
I have to thank my fantastic guests on this week's show. Francis Kong, who shared his passion for the Iberico roasted pork at Palette Tea House. Alex Carapanos, lover of the decadent raviolo di uvo at the kitchen table in San Rafael, and Mary Richardson, who craves the crispy carnitas at Rico Rico Taco. Join us next time when 3 more guests will recommend their favorite spots right here on Check Please Bay Area. I'm Leslie Sabraco, and I'll see you then. Cheers! And cheers to you, fantastic guests. Woohoo! All righty.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by...
It's our food rescue program that feeds people, not landfills. It's 1,000 things, big and small. Sutter Health.
Total Wine & More offering delivery and curbside pickup options with over 8,000 wines, 2,500 beers, and 4,500 spirits. Customers can shop in-store, online, or on our app.
Fog Harbor Fish House is a local family-owned restaurant offering sweeping views of the San Francisco Bay. Fog Harbor serves fresh, 100% sustainable seafood featuring specialties including roasted shellfish platters, cioppino, and oysters. Located at Pier 39 in San Francisco, reserve at fogharbor.com.
The Bay Area airport that's close and reliable. iFlyOAK.com.
Cooking is the first kind of love you know. It was starting when I was a child, with my grandmother doing fresh pasta, and now I transmit it to all the guests. It's something made specially for them.
Oceana Cruises, proud sponsor of Check Please Bay Area.
Can I get a beignet? Say hey. I like the beignets from the kitchen table. They're so nice. Can I get a creme anglaise with my beignet?
Yes.
Say hey.
Yes.
Can I get a vanilla sauce with my beignet? Say hey. Go to the kitchen table. They'll take care of you all day with the beignet. Say hey.
Woo!
Hey.